Blessings, my beautiful people. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday, or at least a peaceful one, because it's all kinds of crazy out there. But, anyways, I wanted to come on here today and share something with y'all. I want to share 7 practical steps to overcoming inner blockages, and just a little something that I think is helpful for all of us. It helps a lot, especially when we're overcoming, just whatever inner issues we're having or whatever. So, overcoming blockages, requires a lot of self-awareness. And self-awareness is something that not a lot of people have. That was a rude awakening to me. I thought everybody had self-awareness at one time with my naivety, but I know not a lot of people have self-awareness. But if you do have it and you're working on yourself, and you're willing to do the inner work, we all know that whatever issues we go through, whatever blockages we're trying to clear, whatever issues we're working through, self-awareness is a must. We cannot do it without self-awareness. And that requires patience, courage, lots and lots of self-compassion, lots of love, self-love. Because if we're not able to have self-compassion towards ourselves, patience towards ourselves, and self-love, then how else can we give it to another person, right? If we don't have those within us towards ourselves, whatever we give another person is not going to be genuine, or it'll be hollow. It'll be empty, But anyways, let me not get off the subject again. So I'm going to share with y'all 7 practical steps to addressing our fears, just whatever fears we have, whatever doubts we have, whatever limiting beliefs we have, because I know what the whole world and its mother has all these all those fears, all those doubts, those limiting beliefs, all this distortion that we were brought up with, right? All this stuff that we adopted from even before time that we can even go back and remember when we started believing whatever we believe. But before I get started on these, I just want to share and remind y'all, anybody out there that needs it. I know it's not a thing that we all do, right? It's not something that we all do or that we all like or whatever. But I would suggest journaling, writing. It's a very helpful tool that helps us to or helps us see our own progress, helps us bring us back to our own awareness of where we're at with certain blockages that we're going through. It helps us analyze whatever patterns that we are going through, that we're having. It helps us, just see our patterns, and it helps us see how far we've worked through whatever issue. Um, it's like it helps us track our progress. And it's a good thing to keep a chart of our progress, right? Because in that sense, we continue to be motivated. I mean, that's the way I've seen it. Um, Now, it might not work, with everybody the same way, but I think journaling is a great way to begin your healing journey, especially when you're serious about overcoming whatever. Um, it's a good way to start journaling your healing process, especially if you've never done it before. Journaling really helps. Writing, just channeling your inner thoughts, bringing them out into paper. Uh, like I said, especially if you've never done it before, that's a great way to channel your thoughts, channel your energy, and allow more space for your energy to flow. So journaling is a very good way to overcome any blockages that you're having, that you're dealing with, any issues or challenges, whatever you want to call them. Journaling really, really helps. So I suggest that, if you're serious about overcoming whatever challenge, whatever, you're dealing with, keep a chart, not a chart, but keep a journal. And document your progress. I mean, you don't have to do it every day, especially if you've never done it before. I know it'll be difficult for you to, go through the process on a daily basis, but just start small. Start today, and then, just work your way up into writing. Well, today, blah blah blah, or I was going through this. It's just a simple way of you letting out whatever challenge you're going through, and that really helps you see yourself in a different way of, oh, that makes a big difference. Because I know to me, I can be thinking all day, I can be in my head and think all this stuff, and think it a certain way, or just whatever. But once I get it into paper, it's a different perspective that it brings me. It brings me into a whole other sense of myself. So journaling is a good thing, okay? I just wanted to remind anyone out there that if you're wanting to overcome any blockages, and become more self-aware, journaling really helps. So, all right, let's get started before I keep on rambling on this journaling. But I suggest you get your journal. I suggest you journal your own obstacle journey, okay? Because you'll be glad you did. Because like in the future, you would go back and look at this journal and read through. Oh, I was going through this, and I mean, it's beautiful to me. I don't know, but if you want to try it, that's a good way to start overcoming blockages and obstacles. So I'm gonna give y'all 7 practical steps to help clear or help support overcoming your doubts, your fears, or any limiting beliefs that you might be going through, or that you struggle with, whatever. All right, and number 1 is identify the root cause of the blockage. Identify the issue, the root of the issue, the root of the challenge that you're dealing with. Without you identifying where it's coming from, why you have the issue that you do, why you're having the challenge that you're having. We must identify the root cause of whatever it is, right? Because it'll drive you crazy. You could just, blame it on the whole world and its mother, as we usually do, especially when we're in that victim mentality. It's so difficult to square down exactly where the root is at. So identifying the root cause of that blockage is going to help you a lot to clear out whatever fear, whatever doubt, whatever limiting belief you're stuck on, because your mind has been in this routine of believing this issue, this fear, this limited belief. And if you don't get to the root cause of it, it's never gonna be rooted out, from the base. So first step is to identify the root cause. Why? Or the why, the why first, the why of the blockage. Reflect deeply to uncover the origin of that blockage, of that fear, of that belief that you see as blocking your life, is blocking you, is blocking you in whatever way, shape, or form. So reflect on its root. Why do you believe what you believe the way you believe? Ask yourself that. Why am I believing this the way I'm believing it? Why? Is it truly my belief? Is it? Is it something that I always believed? How long have I been believing this? And you can make memory. And like I said, it's a good thing to have a journal, because that'll help you. You can even create your own timeline, right? You can start, and for this, you do need to make like a chart. I don't know, start with the line. Start with 2025, right? And go backwards. Do a chart. Do a chart on yourself. And make memory of, why do you believe this? For you to find the root of the cause of whatever is blocking you, you're going to have to go back, because you didn't adopt that belief right now. That blockage that's blocking you wasn't just created yesterday. Whatever challenge you're going through is not rooted on today, right? All that is rooted in our past, and we have to go back. And for us to go back, we have to reflect deeply. And again, writing helps, because you can make a chart and start, making memory. Okay, this year I went through this year, and you take it back slowly. Just deeply reflect on that. Why do you believe what you believe? Why are you so stuck on this blockage? And ask yourself, is it truly my belief? Or is it tied to my past? Is it because I learned it from someone? Is it because of societal expectations, societal norms? Just because society does it, just because it's adopted into our human society, it became a norm, and everybody calls it normal. But if it don't feel normal to you, if it don't feel normal to your soul, then why are we allowing ourselves to be living and defining ourselves through a lie that don't feel right to us, within us? So ask yourself, is it really my belief, or is it something that I learned? Or is it my own hidden insecurities? Is it an insecurity that keeps this blockage rooted in me? We're gonna have to be willing to be real and get real with ourselves, like really raw, be honest with ourselves. And sometimes of course it's not easy. This is why not everybody goes through the healing journey, right? Because it hurts too much, because we're not willing to admit stuff to ourselves. We're not willing to dig in deep and be realistic and talk to ourselves. Is it something that is this issue that I'm dealing with? Is it my own insecurities? Is it that I'm insecure in myself because of this, because of that, because I took these actions or I didn't take these actions? Is it something I've done or haven't done? We have to check ourselves. We have to be able to check ourselves, because if we don't, then there's no point on trying to overcome anything, because we're not going to get to the root of it if we're not being real with ourselves. So if it's a hidden insecurity that you don't want to face just because it feels uncomfortable, because it's more comfortable to live in a lie, especially lying to yourself. You keep this pretending, and of course I'm not saying it's just you or just me. It's the whole world. That's a societal norm, okay, that we have to adjust to. The societal, this is how you whatever. So we have to ask ourselves, is it our own hidden insecurities? Why is it a hidden insecurity? Is it something that I've learned, something that I adopted along the way? Is this blockage something that I chose willingly? Did I choose this willingly? Or is it something that was enforced into us, into our psyche, without us even being aware that it was happening? Is it something that we just adopted in our psyche? This belief, this fear, this blockage, was it just that something that we adopted as part of us that now is deeply rooted in us, but it don't feel right? Because if it was part of you, it wouldn't be causing you such big blockage, right? So is it something that I adopted from somebody else, from another belief that I don't even know why I believe what I believe? And we should ask ourselves, is this blockage really my truth? Is this blockage really my belief? Is this really what I want to believe? And why do I believe it, right? Why? Does it really make sense to me? Does it really make sense to my soul? Or is it that I'm living with somebody else's belief in me? Have I been living with somebody else's truth, thinking it's my own truth? Am I having this blockage, this fear, this issue because I chose it to be my own, but it was somebody else's and I just adopted it and took on the narrative of that blockage? So sometimes we'll live life, a whole lifetime, doing a certain narrative, believing a certain way, believing certain truths, supposedly truths that are our truths, right? But they're really not, because they were taught to you and it just became normal to you, right? And if it don't make sense to you anymore, in the spiritual sense of things, if it don't make sense to your soul and you're serious about your own healing and you're serious about getting real with yourself and aligning with your own purpose, these blockages are going to bubble up. if you're not really living in your truth, in the genuinity of who you are, of what you are, of yourself, of your you, that you have chosen willingly, it's not going to make sense. So this is why we have the blockages. This is why we have all these issues. This is why we got to deal with what we're dealing with, because we are living in somebody else's truth. It's not our own. So we got to dissect that part. We got to dissect these blockages. We got to dissect these fears, these limited beliefs. We have to be willing to dissect it one by one, and then go down the list of, why do I feel so blocked in this area, or why do I keep blocking myself, why do I keep sabotaging myself with this or whatever, right? So step number 2 is reframing our negative thoughts. Before the fears, before the limited beliefs, before the blockages, our mind is already programmed. Our psyche is already programmed to think a certain way, to believe a certain thing. How much of that do we believe, and how much of it we don't? What to fear, what not to fear. All that is already deeply ingrained in our psyche. So reframing those negative thoughts, reframing those beliefs is a challenge. Of course it's a challenge. So but nevertheless we can reframe it. It does take work, it does take dedication, it does take a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of effort. But if you're willing, you can overcome it. So reframing the negative thoughts, the challenging beliefs or blockages, the best thing to do is to look for evidence, like real raw evidence of, okay, well, I'm believing this, but is it true? Is it true? Look for real evidence. If you're fearful of something, look for real evidence of the truth behind the fear, of the truth behind the limited belief, of the truth behind the blockage. You got to be able to back it up with truth, with real universal truth of things, not just thinking it just appeared out of nowhere, because it didn't. It has a truth behind it. If it's real, you'll have backup, right? You'll have this truth, and its own truth will back it up. Now you decide if you want to keep that limited belief, if you want to keep that blockage and not deal with it, or just adjust it. Sometimes we just have to adjust them a little bit, because it's like in our culture, right? We are set to believe a certain way, believe certain things, because that's the norm, because everybody believes this, because ever since the dinosaur age, whatever. But have evidence. Look for evidence that disproves its truth. Look for evidence that disproves this beliefs, this blockages. Look for the real raw universal truths that backs it up. That's the only way you're going to be able to dismantle it, and you're going to be able to take it out from its root. So also replacing your negative self-talk. That negative self-talk, it's very disempowering. And I know we are taught since we can remember that, and I'm not even going to go into the religious subject, because everybody has the right to believe whatever they believe, right? And I can't tell anybody what to believe or not, because everybody's on their own journey, everybody's at their own pace, everybody's, me. I know I've dissected all of that. I've been dissecting it all my life. So it's good to go back and remember, if you can even go that far, to remembering, when did I start talking to myself like this? Did I always talk to myself like this? This negative self-talk about, just disempowering myself of what is it? I'm worthless, I can't do it, I don't know nothing. All that negative self-talk. We learned that. We were not born with that. We were not born with low self-esteem. We were not born with the negative self-talk. I know we weren't. Because when you're first born, you're just like fresh out of the ether. And yeah, you're learning to be human and stuff, and in the process you get all freaking fragmented, right? But I guarantee you, we were not born with low self-esteem. We were not born with negative self-talk, okay? So if you can make memory of, when did I start talking to myself like this? Like I'm worthless, right? And most of it is taught to us through religious beliefs. I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because we're taught that you are born a sinner, you are worthless. I'm not gonna get deep into it, but I gotta point it out though. I gotta point it out, okay? I'm not gonna be okay with it if I don't. We are taught that we are worthless, that we are sinners, we were born in sin, our flesh is of the devil, we're going to hell for being human. That's a societal norm, right? It's something that was taught to us through religious beliefs. And unless you dissect that area and go all the way back to the dinosaur age, you're not going to know. So that belief of you being a sinner, of you being worthless before God, of you, not even deserving mercy or grace from God, because you're a sinner, you were born in sin. That's an adopted belief. Okay, so you were not born with low self-esteem. You were not born with that negative self-talk. All right, so you gotta reframe that. You gotta empower yourself now, and for you to do that, you're gonna have to dissect it. It takes time. Yes, it takes time. It takes effort and a lot of freaking pain and sometimes a lot of tears. Okay, but it's good for you. It's good for you. So if you can dissect the root cause of that negative self-talk and root it out, you can reframe your mind to stop doing that negative self-talk to yourself, and you can replace that with positive, empowering affirmations. You can start shifting your pessimistic thinking, and you can replace it with optimism, with just optimism. I know every single negative thought has a positive thought, and if we really look at it, it probably has even more positives than negatives. But again, the negative's always going to be there because it's been in our psyche for so long. So, but we can reframe, the negative self-talk. Start shifting that pessimism with positive thinking, positive, powerful affirmations with real universal truth. Because once you start digging into who you really are and why you believe what you believe and why this and why that, you're going to start learning that you have so much power within this realm, and this is what has been kept from you all your life. Okay, once you start knowing that, it's a universal truth that and it has backup. It's not only, okay, well, we're going to believe this because we were told, because my grandparents, my great parents, and this is how we've done it all our lives, and blah 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 blah. Lord have mercy. Let me chill, because that really pisses me off. You can shift all that once you start learning and dissecting all these blockages, all these fears. Why do you fear this? Why do you have this limited belief? Why do you have this blockage? You know, and the good thing about the blockages, when you're aware of them now, is that you work through them. And the greatest thing is that it bubbled up. It bubbled out of you. And it's not going to let you go until you deal with it, until you face it, until you sit your butt down and dissect it. So once you start shifting your mind, you know, backing up these fears, these blockages with real universal truths of what you are, of who you are, and why this happened, or why this belief, or whatever, you can start really shifting your negative thought, your negative self-talk, your negative thinking, and shift it. And it don't take long, because remember, a lie is very powerful, okay? The lie is very powerful within our psyche, and it's been sitting there for so long. It's been living in us for so long. It's so ingrained into our DNA. So powerful, right? Sometimes we think it's beyond our own power, but it's not. The only reason the lie has so much power over us is because of our ignorance. We are believing this fear. We are believing this limited belief. We are believing this blockage because of our ignorance. We are ignorant of it. Okay? It's something that we learned. It's something that's been there for the longest, and we don't take the time to dissect it. So how else can we shift it? You know, we can struggle to shift something negative for so many years. And the reason that happens is because we really haven't went all the way to the root cause of that issue. That's why. But once you dismantle that lie, once you are no longer ignorant of the lie, once you become aware of the truth behind the lie, it's dismantled. It is powerless. It has no more power over you. So your psyche has no other option but to replace that compartment where the lie was. It has no other option but to replace it with something positive, with the real truth, with what is real of what you are, who you are, through the Most High God that breathes through you. And that truth is going to stick in your psyche for the rest of eternity, because you're an eternal being. We just forgot. So we can replace those negative thoughts, those negative affirmations we do to ourselves. We can replace it with positive thinking, with optimism, and we got to be able to catch ourselves, right? But how can we catch ourselves if that compartment is occupied by a lie? A lie that you keep believing, a fear that shouldn't be there. It's you know, but you won't know it's a lie until you back it up with universal truth of what and who you are. But once you do, you can shift your awareness of it real quick, real easy. It's really not hard. You know, I've gone through this. I had adopted some, you know, real negative, I mean, we all do, don't we? Some negative beliefs, you know, where just societal bullshit that I thought it was normal. But then I'm like, wait, why would it be normal? Don't make no damn sense to me. So, you know, as usual, I mean, I'm like the dissector of things. And once I got to the root of that blockage, of that deceit, of the lie. I went behind the lie, and I dismantled the whole thing down, and it was so easy to reprogram that thing in my psyche. So it's not difficult. I think the most difficult part is where we don't sit down, we don't deal with whatever is blocking us. That is the biggest issue we have. We have to take the time to sit down with ourselves and ask ourselves all these questions. Why is this blocking me so much? Why you know? All right, number 3, I'm gonna leave that alone. Face your fears gradually. And again, this is not going to happen from morning till night or vice versa, right? It's not going to happen from one minute to the other. No, it takes time. So don't rush your process. To face your fears, to face those limited beliefs, those doubts, to face whatever blockage you're going through. Don't rush the process. Please don't do that. The worst thing we can do is rush it through, because it's like rushing through a test that you get on Friday, and you rush through it, and you're just guessing through it. I mean, what good does that do? Are you going to get a good grade out of it? Hell no, we're not. And we're going to fail that test because we were just rushing through it, guessing here and there. We didn't take the time to really read the whole sentence. We didn't take the time to really, make sure it was the correct answer. So don't rush your process. Be patient with yourself. And I know it takes a lot. It does take a lot. Working on yourself takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of woosah and fuck off. It takes a lot of everything. But don't rush. Start small. Work your way up in small steps. Just confronting one thing at a time. Take small steps. Deal with whatever you can deal with, one step at a time, one breath at a time. That's the only way you're going to get to the bigger challenges. All right, so I suggest just start with little blockages, little fears that you have here and there, and then test those out, and then play with those. Don't rush the process. Take small steps. Confront one thing at a time, and before you know it, you'll be ready for the bigger challenges in there. So don't rush it. Take it slow. Because each step you take, it just strengthens you, right? It strengthens your mind. It strengthens your soul. It strengthens your emotions. It strengthens your confidence. You become more confident because you're discovering, hey, that's why is it a big deal now? Why? Because we didn't take the time to research why we have these blockages. Why are we so stuck on these blockages? Why are we so stuck on this fear or on this limited belief? So take small steps. You will get strengthened. You will get your confidence back. You will grow more resilient. And then I think the worst one is where you begin to work on a certain fear, on a certain blockage, on a certain limited belief. For you to start doing it, that's the hardest part, because you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. I will. And you never do. So, but once you get started, it's like a domino effect. Your whole being is just going to crave more truth behind what you believe, why you believe the way you believe, why you behave the way you're behaving towards yourself and others. Because you're believing this thing, and this is where all this judgmental stuff comes in. We are so fast to judge others and to point fingers and to blame others because of our own fears, because of our own insecurities, because of our own beliefs that have been so deeply ingrained in there. We don't even know why we believe that way, why we behave that way. So take it slow, and you will become more confident and more resilient once the domino effect starts trembling down, because it will. And for this, step number 4, seek support. If you have any type of support that supports you through this process, it's I was going to say it's easier, but no, it's not easier. It makes it a little bit lighter because you feel supported. You feel, and it feels good to have support. It's good to have support because sometimes you can see things from a different perspective. So look for mentorship. Wherever you think there's a good mentor. Some people find it at, I don't know what, work, what else, churches, just whatever. So mentorship, seek support through mentorship. Therapy, but I know therapy, it's not everybody has access to therapy, right? Let's be honest. But if you do, you are really blessed. So take advantage of therapy, and don't be scared of therapy, guys. Therapy, they have taught us, is for crazy people. I guarantee you, therapy is not for crazy people. Okay. We have this limited belief that if you take therapy, you're automatically labeled crazy, psychotic. You're going into an asylum. Why? Because that's what we adopted, because of everything that happened, years back when we had all this fuckery in the asylums, right? That's why we think therapy is bad. Therapy is not bad. Therapy helps you. It helps you see things from a different perspective and look at yourself in a different way, where you can really come to a better sense of yourself. Now, you have the choice to believe or disbelieve, but it brings a whole other reality into your psyche, into your mind, that helps you break out of those chains of old beliefs and all these fears that they're not even real, but you grew up believing they were. So therapy is a very good thing. So if you have access to therapy, take it. I guarantee you it's gonna be a good thing for you. And be patient, okay? A lot of people, they're like, well, I'm not gonna go sit over there just to talk to a stranger and let them listen to me, or allow them to tell me what I want to hear. Now you're being judgmental because you really haven't looked into what therapy can really give you. So therapy is a very good thing. So if you have access to therapy, take advantage of it. You can also look for coaching. Coaching. There's different types of coaches, of course. Life coaching in general, it has, just like therapy, it has different sections. They're experts in different sections of life, just like mentorship. Let's say if I go to, okay, if I admire someone, or I would like that person as my mentor, that person is not going to have everything I require to be mentored. Okay. What if I'm going through motherhood? I just had a child and I'm going to my mentor at church, but he is what do you call them? A father or a deacon or a pastor or whatever. He knows nothing about breastfeeding, right? So you got to be wise with that. So it's, therapy has its own levels of sections of life that they're experts at. Coaching, mentorship, that's, so just look for someone, just anybody that can support you and help you in that area that you are going through, that you're handling, just so you know that you're not handling that stuff by yourself. There is support out here. Another thing you can look for is a trusted, motivating, positive, optimistic friend, a trusted friend, a trusted advisor. Be very careful with that. But if you have one, you are one of the lucky ones. If you have that trusted, motivated, and supportive friend that will ride with you through thick and thin and is there for you to call you out on your own bullshit, and you not get uncomfortable by it, and even if you are uncomfortable by it, you are able to overcome it with that person, that's a beautiful thing. That's great support. So use that to your advantage, because it's very helpful. Someone that can encourage you, can offer you guidance with what you're dealing with. I mean, just whatever helps. Be it mentorship, therapy, coaching, a trusted advisor, a trusted friend. As long as they encourage you and guide you and support you through what you're dealing with, you will overcome that challenge. You will overcome those obstacles, whatever you're dealing with. All right, step number 5. I'm taking it too far. Step number 5. Practice self-compassion. Please. A lot of people out here, even the most confident ones, I think we don't practice enough self-compassion, because we have that inner judge in us, right? That inner point the finger at you all the time. So practice self-compassion. It's very important that you practice self-patience, self-compassion, especially when you're trying to overcome whatever obstacle, whatever fear, whatever you're trying to dismantle from your life. So be kind to yourself as you navigate through all this commotion. You will have deep emotions bubbling up, right? You're gonna have to. If you don't, then you're not human. Because if you're human, I don't know, I might be wrong. Shit, let me take that back. Oh, I think everybody has emotions, but shit, yeah, no. If you navigate through all this, you're gonna go through deep emotions. Just be ready for that, but be patient with yourself. Apply self-compassion, please. Patience, lots of love. Remember that if you do fall back once you start, remember that growth comes with setbacks. Do not get discouraged. Okay, that's just part of the journey. That's part of the journey. If you get discouraged, if you feel like I had a setback, this is a very big setback or whatever, no, that's just part of the journey. You're not going to be stuck over there in that. You're not. If you're serious about your growth, you're not. That's just part of the journey. We sometimes we feel that we take one step forward, but take 2, 3, 4, or even 10 back. That's just part of the journey. So be patient with yourself. Don't get discouraged. I think one of the greatest challenges is when you find yourself in the threshold of things, right? You're in the middle of this shift. Okay, you discover the lie of this fear or of this belief. All right, you know where the root lies. Now you have to change it, right? Now you have to replace it. Now you're like, but in between that, you like tumble. You like tumble. So you will have that challenge. But so don't get discouraged. Just keep going. Just keep going. Pause if you need to. Pause for however long you need to. Again, don't rush the process. Take a breather. Breathe. Come back to your self-awareness. Come back. You know, 'cause sometimes we'll just get off track. But even when you get off track, don't get discouraged. Get back. Bring yourself back to self-awareness. Be aware of your present moment. Come back. Come back. Because sometimes we'll go all the way back there and stay forever in that space. Or, yeah, we go Delulu into the past or into the future. But, you know, just bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. Don't stay over there. Take your experience one moment at a time, one present moment at a time, more like. And I suggest you adopt this, because if you're struggling with a blockage, a strong blockage, if you're struggling with a strong fear, if you're struggling with a strong limited belief, whatever is blocking you, you're going to need all the help you can get, not only from your breath giver, but, you know, another positive human that can support you, if you have them. If not, believe me, God in you are going to do just fine. But if you do, it's awesome. I'm going to give you this quote that has really helped me in a way. You know, every time I like face a challenge or whatever, it helped me a lot to bring myself back to my self-awareness. And it helped me to overcome a lot of things. So I adopted this saying, and we all know this saying, right? Do the best you can. All right. Everybody knows this. But do we really apply it? Like, do the best you can with what you have, you know, and really apply it. Because that's all you can really do. Do your best. Just for now. Just for today. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Bring yourself back to that awareness. That really grounds you when you really sink it in and say, well, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best just for now. Just for today. That's it. That's it. I mean, it leaves the past powerless. It leaves the future powerless, because they both collapse. And you come back into the present moment. So adopt that if it helps you. Do the best you can, just for now, just for today. And be okay with it. Because that's all you got to do. All you got to do is you right now, at this present moment. That's all you have. That's all that's really real. Okay? So whenever you think you're setting back, or you know, think you're going backwards instead of forwards, bring yourself back into your self-awareness again and again. And that's going to take a lot of practice. It's going to take a lot. So I suggest you repeat it at least 3 times. I'm doing the best I can, just for now, just for today. Keep breathing, you know. That's like a helpful way of keeping you balanced, of keeping you grounded in the now. So that's a good way to bring yourself back. All right, number 6. We're almost done. Taking too long. Set intentions and take action. All right. Align with your goals. Align your goals with your values. and take a step forward. No matter how small that step is, if that goal you're making for yourself is aligning with your value, take small steps forward. It has to feel right in here. Okay, so you're making a goal to overcome whatever obstacle, whatever fear, whatever challenge. It has to feel right within your soul, within your soul's values, your integrity, with your real raw you, not the one that has been living all this societal lies forever. Okay, not that one. The real raw you, the real soul in you. Let those goals align with your inner values. And when it does, just take small steps, one step at a time. Just for now, just for today. No matter how small that step is, just take it. Apply what you have learned. Apply what feels right. What feels right to your soul. Not what feels right to your mind, not what feels right to your feelings. No. What just feels right within you. That does not need no rationalizing. That does not need no emotional sense of things. That just feels you feel it. You feel it in your how do we say, we feel it in our gut. If it feels right, it feels right. And sometimes if it don't feel right, that's when our soul rejects it, right? Because that's not really part of us. And this is why we have all these blockages, because our soul is like, nope, wait. It just pukes it out, right? It starts puking all these lies out. So you have to deal with these blockages and you have to remove them. But in its place, it has to be replaced by truth. So that's going to feel uncomfortable, right? Because you believe this lie so long. You've believed this fear so long. You've believed this limited belief for so long. And now once it collapses, there comes the threshold, right? So it's going to feel uncomfortable at times. Like, whoa, But even if it feels uncomfortable and it feels right to your soul, apply it. Apply it. Small steps. Remember, reframing our minds, our minds' beliefs, our minds' fears, our minds' limited beliefs. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of dedication. Why? Because we have to constantly call ourselves back to our own awareness. It's a constant practice, constant over and over. But the more you practice, the better you get. And before you know it, you're not gonna be that person living in a lie anymore. It just becomes a part of you. The truth starts sinking in, and it just becomes part of you. And then it's just, oh, this is me. This is me. It's a beautiful thing. All right, number 7, guys. So discipline, dedication, practice to reframe our minds from those blockages, those beliefs, limited beliefs and fears. All right, number 7, embrace mindfulness. All right, mindfulness, and I know it's a word that became so strong the past 12 so years ago, maybe 14, 15, I don't know, however long that word became, it just blew up, right? It blows up in our face every freaking day now. Why? Because it's very important. Embracing mindfulness just means that you are more aware. of what you're saying, of what you're thinking, of what you're feeling, of the real you. And whenever the real you is not aware, then you just keep living a lie. Okay. So embracing mindfulness just means that you are becoming more aware of who you really are and why you do the way you do, why you act the way you act, why you behave the way that you behave. So embracing mindfulness is just bringing more awareness to yourself. And with this meditation helps. Okay. Like I said in my prior video, you can pray all you want, but prayer is not going to bring you back into your own awareness because you're too busy talking, making your requests before God, right? That's not going to bring you mindfulness because there's a chatter. There's the blah, 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 right? Meditating is a different thing. You sit still. You quiet yourself. You calm yourself down. Take a step back from everything. It's like your whole outer reality collapses and you go into this self space where you breathe. A lot of people, do meditation differently, right? But breathing techniques really help. Even if whenever you get into an altercation with somebody or something is unpleasing to you, what do we naturally do? It's a natural state of us. Right? It's a natural state because it helps us bring more mindfulness to us. Like, wait a minute. So meditating is a real good thing. If you can adopt that, even if it's just 5 minutes or less, I don't know. Just however it feels right to you, however it feels good to you, whatever makes you comfortable. It's a good way to bring your own awareness to yourself. Meditation, breathing exercises, breathing techniques, however you want to call them, can really ground you. They bring you back into your present moment, into your you, because sometimes we're all scattered here and there and everywhere. And to have that moment of breathing, you it's like you come back into your body and you're really present, like right now. So it brings you back into awareness. That the breathing techniques, the meditation, it really helps not only ground you, but it helps create mental space to remove those blockages without being so judgmental, without being all clingy to whatever, right? The process of you overcoming these blockages, these fears, these limited beliefs, meditation and breathing exercises really help create space to remove, overcome, and deal with the harshness of these blockages. Okay, so I suggest that, you don't have to, but it makes the process a little bit lighter. All right, so I don't know if anything of what I just said, the 7 steps to overcoming fears, doubts, or limited beliefs. Number 1, identify the root cause of the blockage, the issue, the challenge, whatever you're dealing with. Number 2, reframe negative thinking. Face your fears gradually. Don't rush. Seek support. Practice self-compassion. A lot of self-compassion and patience. Remember, do the best you can, just for now, just for today. set intentions and take action, where that goal that you're trying to overcome aligns and feels right to your soul. Embracing. In number 7, embrace mindfulness. I don't know if any of these, resonate with you, or you encounter specific fears or whatever, doubts, blockages. If anybody resonates with this, I hope this helped a little bit or a lot of it. I hope. But if you're working through, a challenge, a limited belief, a fear, whatever, if you're working through that, and you need any type of support, and you need help with it, assistance with it, I'm here to help. I'm here to help you think it through. I'm here to help you overcome that, because you're the one that's got to overcome that. But I can bring clarity. I can help assist you, give you the tools that might help a little bit or a lot of it. You never know. It bring you a little bit of clarity here and there, or just however you can hover maneuver through these obstacles and challenges that you might have. My information is on this video. You can email me, reach out if you want to. I'll be more than happy to help you. Just give you a little bit of clarity or whatever guidance, direction, or whatever. I already been here, and overcome a lot myself. So, I have the tools to overcome a good bit of life's little challenges that we have. So if you want to reach out to me, you can. Again, my information is on this video, my email's on this video. I'll be more than happy to assist you and help you with a little bit of clarity with what you're working through. Also, guys, if y'all need affirmations, like personalized affirmations, like in a recorded format, where you can play them, in the morning when you wake up, or at night before you go to sleep, or just take a minute, take a breather and meditate, and you want personalized affirmations, I can also help you with that. I can send you a small formatted video or audio, whatever you want to call it. I'll be more than happy to help you if you want me to personalize some affirmations for you. It's a wonderful thing to start reframing your psyche once you start dealing with, and overcoming all these challenges, one by one, of course. So if you want personalized affirmations in a recorded format, hit me up. My email is on this video. And I'll be more than happy to do it for you. Okay, it don't take long. I think the most it can go for is like 5 minutes, 5-minute time, affirmation recordings. So if you would like me to do one for you, I would love to. We can go through them together and put them together for you. All right, so I love you guys. Thank you for sticking around so long with me. Oh my gosh, it's like an hour now. I hope a little bit of whatever I just shared with y'all helped y'all, or helps y'all, or helps anybody out there. And if you know anybody that is going through a rough time and trying to overcome life's challenges or whatever, share whatever knowledge you have with them. Something that you have already went through and overcame. It might help them. You never know. That is, if they're willing to do the work too, right? Because you can't just go chasing after somebody and they keep rejecting the help. So also, you can share my email with them. They can shoot me an email and ask whatever questions for whatever clarity I can assist with. All right, guys. I love y'all. Have a great weekend and see you soon. Bye.